Welcome into the CHGO White Sox pregame show. We are more prompt than the Cubs, but our baseball team's worse. Welcome into Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
And we are here to preview game number 3 of 4 of the 2023 Crosstown Classic. White Sox versus Cubs. Touki Toussaint. Happy Touki Tuesday versus Kyle Hendricks. Herb.
Hello.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, in this terrible abyss of a season, these Cubs versus Sox games are what give me a little bit life. Yes, the White Sox are horrible. They're just a terrible franchise that can't do a lot right. But usually, even when they're bad, they get up for those Cubs games. And this is the White Sox World Series, effectively. And so they need to win tonight. If they win tonight, as I think Kevin Millar said about when they were down 3-0 to the Yankees, like, don't let us win tonight. Don't let us win tonight. Kill us tonight. Because if they win tonight, I'm going to be obnoxious tomorrow. Sean's going to be obnoxious tomorrow while we do our Crosstown takeover.
I'll be obnoxious tonight.
Mad shit about these Cub people. And I'm usually not that, anti-Cub guy. I'm still not. But these 2 days, and I've been hearing a lot of Cub fans chirping. Lots of talk. Way too much talking. Making me question myself. But these next 2 days, I'm looking forward to the White Sox giving maximum effort to try to give their fans something they can hold on to.
I aired my grievances already about the Cubs. You know what? It's just another. It's 2 well, I guess it's 4 of 162. You know, I mean, it doesn't mean a lot. But if Tim Anderson, oh wait, he's scratched. Never mind. We'll talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I'm just finding that out right now. I'm about to redo the whole lineup.
Yeah, well, let me know when you have that ready, and we'll show the lineup.
Right.
Or I can always just I know what the switch is, so you can just show it. We can tell people.
Want to do it right now?
What happened? Yeah, let's just do it right now. Fred's asking if anything interesting's going on. I haven't decided what I'm getting for dinner yet.
Me either.
Oh, so you guys could help us decide what we're going to eat during this game. So share some thoughts in the comments below. And Fred's right though. We will be in Studio A if they win. So that's the most important thing that you need to know about today is that if the Sox win, we'll be in Studio A, and that means that Cody and Luke will suffer, which is honestly the only thing I really care about. Mainly Luke, because he was like kind of na boo boo about us being in Studio B, and I was like, it's fine. I feel like we complain a lot about the heat. It's not that hot in here.
No, I actually prefer Studio B. I think we're more intimate. You guys can see us a little bit better. I can see the board much better, and your comments much better. And I don't mind here as long as it's not 1,000 degrees. Like sometimes, especially where Steven's at in his producer perch back there, it gets real hot because he's got a window right by him. But
I did steal the fan today.
Okay,
it's
that's
pointing
good.
right at me right now.
That's
it's
awesome.
the little one, but it's the job done.
Yeah, I was wondering where it went. Where do you have it?
That little
It's
thing
right next
there,
to my
the little
right
oscillating
hand.
fan on the other side of the computer.
I can't. It is really small. I picture it to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, like Big Dave's fan he carries around.
Yeah, but that one's isn't that one the gray one?
Yeah, but this one's about that same size.
That one's bigger. That one's a little heftier. Alejandro saying Bona. White Sox Tom saying wings.
I think Bona beef is too far to deliver. We're not leaving. We're just going to watch the game and have it delivered here.
Leave.
But yeah, Bona beef is
like
a good
a little
one.
radio broadcast.
I think Bona is a little bit more, franchisey than I want to eat tonight. I want to eat something local.
Okay.
I want to eat something nice.
I
Wings
like
might fit into that White Sox, Tom.
I don't know where the hell we're going to get wings from, though. Let's see that starting lineup, Steven Nicholas.
All right, just so we're clear, it has been changed, but not on this graphic.
Yes, this graphic is wrong because Steven doesn't know how to do his job properly.
No, that wasn't it.
Maybe more like 16 minutes ago, Vinny had the news. Tim Anderson has been scratched from tonight's lineup with neck stiffness.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis Andrus goes over to shortstop and takes over in the leadoff spot. Zach Remillard, now the starter at second base, batting ninth. So Elvis Andrus going to lead off at shortstop. Benintendi batting second in left field. Batting third, Luis Robert Jr. in center field. Batting fourth, Eloy Jimenez at DH. Batting fifth, Yohan Moncada at third base. Batting sixth, Andrew Vaughn at first base. Batting seventh, Yasmani Grandal catching. Batting eighth, Oscar Colas in right field. And batting ninth, Zach Remillard at second base.
Don't want to say I told you so, but what the F with Tim? Like, we could have, still.
It would have been done.
Yeah, still we haven't seen the appeal being done where Jose Ramirez has already been done. And if he just didn't appeal his suspension and took his medicine on that Monday, even on that, well, it was issued on that Sunday before Monday's game, right? And so if he would have taken it last Monday, he would have been eligible to come off the IL or come off the suspension and been all good with rest, with a chance to clear his head, get away from the Balls Club. But now he's missing the third game in the seven subsequent, well, actually the fourth game in the 7 games that after he got punched by Jose Ramirez. I don't know who's advising him, who can just say to him, it's not wise for you to appeal this. You're going to get 1 game off, and it's going to be way down the line, and maybe we'll need you at that time. These games don't matter at all. Take your goddamn medicine. Take these 6 games off, and we'll see you when the Cubs are here. Now he's got a neck problem. I wonder why he's got a neck problem. I wonder why. Because he hasn't been playing, so it had to be from when he got hit, or when he sat out the other day, or when he sat out the other day, or when he sat out the other day.
You think Yasmani slapped him again?
Maybe.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe. Hey.
You slept wrong?
Allegedly.
You didn't sleep wrong. You slept in your own bed last night. You're in Chicago still.
You've never slept wrong in your own bed?
Not really. And if he's rich like he is, it's tough to sleep wrong if you're really rich. Because you got those nice mattresses.
He's probably got that cooling mattress.
Yeah, got a nice pillow. Nice body pillow, too. So
my biggest issue with me sleeping is my sweat.
Yeah.
So if I had a cooling mattress, I would be able to sleep fine in my bed.
I mean, they're not a sponsor yet, but there's a thing where you can get a sheet over your natural bed. So if you already bought your expensive bed, you can have this sheet that has cooling coming through the sheet. And so you stay cool all throughout the day. And it's like really nice to have it. I forgot who did it, who was the sponsoring it. It was one of the TikToks I was watching. I was like, I need to get that, but I saw it. It was like $500. It's like, I'd rather sweat.
Birthday present.
I was like, I'd rather sweat in the bed.
What are we getting for Christmas? I'm not buying that for me. Thank you, Jason. Through the what, Herb?
Yes,
sir.
Hey, it's a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, it's all right. Cubs lineup is
Good. Glad you caught it, Jason.
It was an accident. White Sox. Oh wait, no, not the White Sox lineup. I said the Cubs lineup, Steven.
Yeah,
you're confusing.
They
this
can't
old
see
man.
people.
Yeah.
But I can see it, and I'm confused.
Well, I have to switch from one to the other. That's the way it works.
It's confusing to me. Cubs lineup is as follows. Number 1, leading off, Mike Tauchman in center field, batting second. Nico Horner at second base, batting third. Ian Happ in left field, batting fourth. Cody Bellinger at first base, batting fifth. Dansby Swanson at shortstop, batting sixth. Jeimer Candelario at third base, batting seventh. Christopher Morel also playing third base. Very interesting.
Wow.
They got
It's gonna be tough.
5 infielders today.
I think Morel's DH today.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure because he's not a good fielder.
Thanks for pointing
he's all
that
right
out.
at second base. The Cubs guys would contend that he's all right at second base.
Yeah, but they already have a better second baseman.
That's true. Morel DHing. Seiya Suzuki batting 8th, and he's in right field. And batting 9th, Yan Gomes in catcher. We haven't got the chance to talk a ton about this Cubs team. Have we done a pregame show?
I don't think we have done a pregame show on the two games we had because one game we went to it, the other game we just reported on it, and I don't think we really exclusively talked about how the Cubs are doing this year and how that lineup is. And that lineup looks decent. It's when you got a guy like Cody Bellinger hitting in the cleanup spot, which, it's a nice thing. If your general manager goes out and seeks out a left-handed, strong, young, 27-year-old at the time, now 28-year-old bat to play the outfield for you, and then sometimes play first base. Defense, excellent. Stinging the ball this year. He's the top hitter this year as a left-handed guy who got hits added to his I'm trying to say this right. Got hits added to his ledger because the shift is now gone. So he has 17 hits, and I think that's tied with another left-handed hitter. But Cody Bellinger at the top, and that's from Mike Petriello from ESPN. It must be nice to have forethought baseball decisions being made on the north side. They have things that are going right. And look who they're not playing. A guy that we would play right now every single day, Nick Madrigal, not even seeing a sniff on that Cubs lineup right now. So I'm glad there's not going to be a revenge game today, at least not early. Maybe he comes in later in the game and hits a single because that's the most he can do, and then gets picked off on first base or some shit like that. But, yeah, that lineup is formidable. It's nice. I will root for them to get to the playoffs, and then when they're in the playoffs, root for them then. But today, they're enemy number one. I hope the Cubs get shut out tonight by Touki Toussaint, and I hope they crush Kyle Hendricks, because I need this. This is my last bastion. Otherwise, then I got Cub fans talking in my ears. I got Guardians fans talking in my ear.
Why are they talking?
Because they're trying to go to the playoffs. They're in the playoffs.
Their third and fourth hitters are Cole Calhoun and Ramon Laureano.
Yeah, that's because the dude got suspended. But J. Ram knocked our shortstop out. You know, a lot of talk going on right now.
I wouldn't worry about those
Talk
guys.
now. As Tim says, talk now. But I'm coming back up. We coming back up.
I would like to see it.
I mean, not with the same regime. If they don't fire this regime, we're going to stay the same spot.
Yeah, well, that's why I think we're going to stay in the same spot. And shout out to all of our people. You guys are the best. From White Sox Tom, Slush Poppy, to our guy Marcos, who's got us as our profile picture.
Came out to the takeover. Great talking to Marcos.
Yeah, right. I mean, we hung out with him for a whole 9 innings. And our guys Matthew and Fred as well. And I'm not trying to miss anybody. But I appreciate it. And Dan and Alejandro.
Dan's in Fresno is 107 degrees.
Jesus Christ, move. Yeah, we appreciate everyone hanging out with us. But the Cubs lineup, I mean, I got to say, I'm not trying to be like, I told you guys so, because I really didn't tell anybody. I have a baseball podcaster for 2 years. I didn't talk about Mike Talkman. But in 2019, I was a fantasy baseball guy, and Mike Talkman was a nice ad for that Yankee team, and I really became a talkomaniac. And to now see him
It's a great name.
on his come up, it's really good to see. I mean, it's been fun to see, and now Cody's making shirts about Mike Talkman. So I mean, like there is some fun stories on this Cubs roster, and that's why, like, again, if the Sox aren't making the playoffs, I would like the Cubs to make the playoffs because sports just content in Chicago is better, or is at least more interesting. I don't want radio guys. I don't want the Cubs guys talking about an offseason or other teams in the playoffs. I would like to see those guys talking about playoff baseball.
Yeah,
that makes Chicago sports more interesting.
I think that, the Cubs move the needle. The Cubs are good, as you saw in 2016 and onward. It moves the needle, just like the Bears. The Bears are looking to be a little bit better than they were last year. That moves the needle. That's why people are trying to denigrate Justin Fields so tough, because they know if the Bears are good, watch out, NFL. It's going to be the story of the NFL. And the same thing with the Cubs. Let them get in the playoffs, and let them have a Mike Talkman go off in the playoffs, or Cody Bellinger, or Dansby Swanson. This town's going to be on its ear, and that's just what it is right now, because the White Sox didn't capitalize on the time that they had this city in 2005 and onward. They didn't capitalize on, hey, the kids who are now of age, that's been 18 years. So if you were 9 back in the day, now you're close to being 30, and you had a choice back in the day. And the White Sox were good, but they weren't great to move on to the next level and say, hey, we're in the playoffs next year, we're in the playoffs the year after that. You should be a White Sox fan. No, they didn't take advantage of that, and then the Cubs were the Cubs, so they took over, had their youth movement, and then just steamrolled through the playoffs that one year and went to the LCS, I think 3 years in a row. So I wouldn't doubt that young people who have grown up in this time in Chicago had a choice, and they chose the Cubs because they're a more well-run organization. They're a much more fun team to cheer for. Yes, you might hate the Ricketts and what they do in the politics and such, but I don't think the Ricketts necessarily are detested by Cub fans. Jerry Reinsdorf is hated by, if not every White Sox fan, majority of the White Sox fans. And I say hated, not slightly, hated by the White Sox fans, and they want him to sell the team. I don't think the same going on right now on the north side.
I think you find some people, but yeah, no. There's more dozens of us for the Ricketts, where there's strong thousands for the Sox and Reinsdorf. We're gonna probably wrap this on the batters here. But there was a comment that Vinny tweeted out from Luis Robert Jr. that I'm going to save for postgame.
Okay.
Let's save that for postgame. And Vinny can join us, and maybe we'll discuss it a little bit because
it'll give us the proper context too. Because remember, Luis is going through a translator when he's saying these words too.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting what was translated. All right, let's go to the pitching rotation. On the bump for the White Sox, Touki Toussaint. In 42 2/3 innings, he's got a 4.22 ERA, 30 hits allowed, 45 strikeouts, 27 walks, and a 1.04 ERA plus. Those numbers are with the White Sox. Kyle Hendricks on the year, 86 1/3 innings, a 3.96 ERA, 83 hits allowed, 57 strikeouts, 14 walks, and an ERA plus of 1.16. Let's talk first about the man on the right, Kyle Hendricks. We saw him in person. Go right. No, Stroman was on the bump.
Yeah.
And then I think Hendricks was the day before.
Yes. Stroman was terrible that day.
Yes, and now he's hurt, so maybe that was why. But Hendricks hasn't had the greatest success against the 3 and 4 hitter against the Sox. Luis Robert has a 4.44 batting average in 11 plate appearances or batting.
I think it's like 9.
Plate appearances, yeah, 11 plate appearances. Eloy Jimenez in 14 plate appearances, a 3.08 average, a cool 923 slugging against Kyle Hendricks, and those are the main two contributors. Tim had a 318 batting average, but again, he has been scratched and won't play today. Other than that, no one really sticks out. Who are you? Well, I guess maybe Vaughn. Vaughn's 3 for 8 lifetime. What are you expecting from Kyle Hendricks here?
A lot of changeups. Fastball probably tops out at 89. Changeup is his, I think, main pitches. And in last start I saw him pitch, it was floating. It was doing his thing. It was outside the strike zone, but enticing enough. I just saw with the stats that Steven put up there, he's at 80-some innings pitched and 80 hits this year. So he's going to get around the strike zone. He's going to strike a couple people out with 57 strikeouts. Not a lot of people. If you're 1-to-1 with strikeouts and innings, that's pretty much your strikeout pitcher. This guy, not necessarily. But he's not going to put you on via the walk with only 14 walks on the year. Consistent. He started off really poor when he came back from injury this year, and now he's rounding into form, and he's being a little bit better than he was earlier. I expect him to be around the plate, and I expect the White Sox to do exactly what Kyle Hendricks wants them to do, is to ground the ball out, hit the ball weakly, soft contact, except for the people who attack him, like Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez, who see him perfectly. Every single game, I believe that Luis Robert Jr. has played versus him, or at least every year, he's at least got an extra base hit. So he sees him perfectly. And if he lays off the balls out in the dirt, he should be good to go.
Wind is blowing in at Wrigley. According to Ballpark Pal, home runs will be down 11%. Runs should be down 11%. Wind blowing in around 7 to 5 miles per hour from the 7 to 8 hour. But then it should be kind of in no effect at 9 with a miles per hour around 3 blowing in. But still, should be good for a ground ball pitcher and somebody who, if you are getting pop-ups, they're most likely going to be weak contact. And shout out to Dan. He's going to be seeing us post-game. We'll be live post-game. So will the Cubs as well. So make sure you're joining either side of town post-game here on CHGO Sports. Touki, though, we saw him go up against the Sox. A lot of people are kind of seeming to be all right with the Touki Toussaint and Jesse Schulten's 1-2 punch. I thought Toussaint started that game, but we did see him just come in. He had only an inning pitched where he threw 15 pitches, but went 1-2-3. What do you think of Touki in a starting role here?
For today, he's good, and for the end of the year, I think he's good. And this is the thing I worry, though. He's been good enough to give it a shot for next year. I hope he does shove it up the Cubs' ass, and that would be great.
They're giggy.
Oh, they're giggy. Sorry.
Yes, I hope we don't like you swearing.
Exactly. I hope they do it. It'll be great. But also, I'm like, on the other side, I'm like, I don't want them to be too good because I don't want these people to get too many ideas. That's when Schulten's pitching well. I'm like, give up a run or two, man. Make it like 4 runs. Don't be too good because they're going to give them too many good opportunities. Now, Today he can go out and throw a no-hitter, and I'm good with it because I want this game. I need this game. But I just want to have different options than him because I know that seeing too good of him would make these guys feel like they only have one spot to fill instead of the 3 starting rotation spots. They definitely need to go out and fill with other players that are not current on this roster.
You ever go on Reddit?
I have never gone on Reddit, really.
Don't. But Reddit is very an interesting place, and there's a community of White Sox fans there, and it's always nice to see people's thoughts and read what that community has to think. But like any community, there's always people who make interesting remarks.
Okay.
A post a day ago. This is about Jesse Schultens, and this is kind of talking to your point about don't be too good. So is Jesse Schultens legit? In his last 3 starts, he's held the best offense in MLB, the Rangers, to 1 run. Cleveland was held to 3 runs. And now the first place Brewers to 3 runs. Should have been 0, but Grifol is a clown. He reminds me a lot of who as a right-handed pitcher?
All right, so he's comparing him to another White Sox pitcher. Then.
Yes, another White Sox pitcher.
He reminds me of...
But a left-handed White Sox pitcher.
Oh, fuck. Mark Burley?
No.
John Danks?
No. What about Danks?
What about that? Chris Sale?
No.
Jose Quintana.
Jose Quintana.
I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
I can see it. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I can see it. Because he goes his subsequent amount of innings, 5 to 6 innings, and gives up a short amount of runs. He doesn't get blown up that many times, and then usually leaves. I don't think he gets the no decisions like Jose Quintana gets all the time, but I think he's fine, but I don't want him on the team next year. I want either Touki or Jesse Schultens. I would be reluctantly fine with that, but not both.
Yeah, I'm not excited to see Jesse Schultens.
No one is.
I think
he's only 30 and is a rookie.
29.
Yeah.
I don't know if
but you'll make a Hallmark movie out of Zach Remillard
because that's real.
Okay.
That's a real story.
Jesse
He's done something that no one's ever done in the history of Major League Baseball.
Bunted 150 times in a season. Is that the answer?
No.
Oh.
It's driving the game tying run and the game winning run in his Major League debut.
You're saying Jesse Schultens' last 3 starts of going 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less in his first 3 starts is unsustainable?
Yes.
Okay, I would agree.
Yes.
100%. Hey, I hope the best for him. I'm not going to say I'm rooting against him or I'm rooting against Touki Toussaint. I do have a feeling if I had to pick one of them, it's probably Toussaint.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Right.
I would go with Schultens because I think you already have power arms in the 2 guys at the top of the rotation. Maybe you need more of a whatever Schultens brings to the table instead of Touki, who's more high velocity, guys.
Well, I like the swinging strikes. You know me.
Yeah, I know you.
And you look at the last 2 outings, and this is something that makes my mouth salivate. I understand he's got 9 walks in the past 2 games. So
Touki?
don't get me a little too, 11 hits, I think. Yeah, 11 hits, 9 walks. I know none of these guys are perfect. He's also got 18 Ks. I mean, mercy. The guy's got swing and miss stuff. I don't know. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited for Touki Tuesday. All right. I'm just gonna say it. Excited for Touki Tuesday. I don't know about Schultens.
I hope that they both.
I don't know what's the Schultens. I don't know.
Saturday Schultens.
Sunday Schultens. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm out. Touki Tuesday is better.
Yeah, it is much better. Yeah, it's much better. Sunday Schultens.
Do you like Touki tonight? What thoughts on the game? I mean,
I think that he's gonna get hit pretty decently today. I know the home runs are gonna be down, but I think the Cubs are gonna get to him for like 4 to 5 runs, and the White Sox are gonna lose this game.
Yeah, the issue with the White Sox, even if Touki Toussaint's great, fantastic, he's gonna allow a run.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Sox score a run. They're really bad.
I think they're going to score a run. I think one of the guys, Aloy, Andrew, or Luis Roberts, going to run into one and get a home run. Ooh. Now, is somebody going to be on base at that time is the thing, and more likely than not, no one's going to be on base, so it's going to be a solo shot, and it's going to be like a 5-1 loss.
Well, I'm glad you bring up home runs here because I got a little quiz for you.
Okay.
Top 10 home runs, players with the most home runs in a crosstown game.
Okay.
So either side. I will say all of these are with one team. So there's nobody who, like
both.
Deanna Navarro. Like I think
Okay.
I actually did all this research. I couldn't find somebody who had a homer as a Cub against the Sox and as a Sox against the Cubs.
Okay.
So all of these guys are solo teams.
I'm going to go with Jose Abreu, of course. He murdered and killed the Cubs that one weekend with 6. I think he hit the most home runs in Wrigley that year in 2020 with his 6 home runs.
Can you give him a ding? Okay.
We got the thing. I think we got it in here, right? There it is.
Make a some sound. Make a funny sound. There you go.
I'm going to go with Paulie the K.
Give him a ding. Do you have any?
He's awesome. Let's go with Frank Thomas.
No.
Ooh, Frank Thomas. Because it's 97 it started, so he had plenty of time.
Hurt a lot.
Frank sucks, man. Take him out of the Hall of Fame immediately.
I would think so.
How about Samuel Sosa?
Samuel Sosa is correct.
I'm going to go with Anthony Rizzo.
No.
Christopher Bryant.
No. So first, you got the number 1 guy, Paul Konerko. Paul Konerko has the most homers in Crosstown games. You got the number 3 guy, Jose Abreu, and then you got tied for 4th, Sammy Sosa.
Okay. It was Aramis Ramirez in there.
Yeah, well, I kind of gave that to you because I saw Jose Abreu and Aramis Ramirez second on the list. Aramis Ramirez.
A guy who used to kill the Cubs. I don't know if he was around long enough, but Carlos Lee.
Carlos Lee, 6th on the list.
Okay. So we have how many more? 3 or 4?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. And they're all Cubs or all Sox, or there's a mixture?
2 for each.
2 for each. Okay, then I'm gonna go with these people's. Alejandro says Jim Thome, which I don't think he played enough games.
Jim Thome is not on there.
Yeah, he didn't play enough games against the Cubs
Feel free
as a White Sox
to help out too. I mean, Alejandro with a good guess there.
I'm gonna go with. Let me look at a Cub that might have hit home runs. Oh, Wilson Contreras.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice ding.
And he threw that bat to the goddamn moon. I loved it, even though it was against the White Sox. I loved it.
One.
Amazing thing right there. I'm gonna go with. Let's see any other White Sox that I can go with. Adam Dunn.
No.
Okay. Catcher. No, Yasmani didn't do a lot. I'm pretty much out.
You're out?
I mean, I could just keep on guessing.
You're sniffing.
Forever.
You're not getting a lot wrong. So I'm not inclined to. You're pretty close. I mean, you just said catcher. I would follow that scent.
Okay, catcher for the White Sox. It was terrible. Karkovice and Fist didn't hit enough. He wasn't around for any of those games. Catcher for the Cubs. Montero wasn't around enough. I already said Contreras. I'm going to go with Javier Baez.
No.
I know he's not a catcher. I was just going for players on those teams. Kyle Schwarber.
No.
Golly, none of the good players?
No. You got one guy with double digits still on the board.
All right, then I'm going to go with blank name, White Sox Tom and Fred's A.J. Przinsky.
Yes.
Anthony John Pierzynski.
Yes. You did all the thinking.
Yeah.
You were like, Carlton Fisk wasn't here enough. Karkovice wasn't good enough. AJ was here forever.
He was.
I mean, they'd still play AJ today. I mean, if AJ wanted to, they'd be like, all right, go.
Definitely
Cut
would.
Sebi Zavala. AJ's on the list. He's tied with Wilson Contreras.
Other Sean says Jose Valentin.
No.
Okay.
No. I'll give you 2. Well, we got 1, 2. We got 2 left. So I'll give you 3 more guesses.
Okay.
1 Cub, 1 Sock.
1 Cub, 1 Sock. Are they currently playing? Either of them.
Nor.
Okay. Neither of them are playing for either of the teams. I already said Sosa.
I guess the only active player is Contreras, but he's not even an active player in this. And Abreu. Abreu is still active.
Yeah.
He's bad. He's just. Jim told me 5 homers in his Sox career against the Cubs. 8 is where Przinsky, Wilson Contreras, and an ex-Cub is at.
Can you give him the position?
Yeah.
I can give positions. You got 3 more guesses. Both of them are outfielders.
Both outfielders, 3 guesses. All right.
There's one you should get.
You should get both of them.
I mean,
Can't
I know
remember who the
both of
other
them.
one
I'm just
was,
not
but-
thinking.
How do you not get both of them?
The
They're
White
both
Sox one is
superstars.
standing out to me.
They're both superstars?
I would say they're both all-stars.
Okay. All-star outfielder for the White Sox. Jermaine Dye.
He had 11. So that was the guy who had double digits.
Okay. All-star outfield for the Cubs.
You got 2 guesses.
Is it Fred's guess of Moises Alou?
Not Moises Alou.
All right. So I have one more guess.
You have one more
Outfielder. Center fielder. I'm just going to go Dexter Fowler.
No.
Who is it?
Alfonso Soriano.
Oh, sorry. I would never got that.
Yeah. And he's a pretty good 40-40 before.
Yeah, I forgot about sorry.
Power speed. Thanks, everyone, for playing.
Want to do clicks to picks before we go?
Yeah, well, why don't you show the graphic, too, just so people could see it. Paulie had... no, why don't you show the homer graphic? Paulie had 20. He's the leader. He's the only person at 20. Aramis Ramirez has 13. Abreu at 12. Sosa and Dye had 11. Carlos Lee at 9. And then Perzinski, Contreras, and Soriano all had 8. All right.
And I was wondering yesterday, your man Lawrence messed up your graphic with me and Vinny.
Oh, yeah, right.
I know you're mad about that, so I'm good to see this again.
Well, I was very clear with Steven.
Yes.
Wait for the graphic. And
Don't do it. And it's Mailman Jack's birthday. You can see the gams on Sean right there.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jack. Yeah, you gotta censor that, Steven.
Blurring for post game.
Why is the graphic wrong? The graphic's fine, Alejandro. Why don't you make our graphics, buddy?
I made the mistakes earlier, Alejandro.
What's the
it wasn't
graphic?
Sean. I had the wrong lineup because they changed it on me, and then I had 2 third basemen for the Cubs.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Steven's 0 for 2 with graphics. I'm 1
I
for...
had a perfectly fine starting pitching graphic.
Sorry.
You did.
Steven is 1 for 3.
How about your
That's good in baseball.
pick the click one?
Oh, yeah, he's 2 for 4. There we go. Mike Caruso, I think, had some for the Cubs, but none for the Sox, or the other way around.
No, one for the White Sox. I know
Yeah.
he won a game with his home run.
He did not have one for the Cubs. And Dave Martinez had 2 for the Sox, but none for the Cubs. But I remember him as a Cub. Clicks to pick. I'm going to go with Andrew Benintendi because I think the Sox lose.
I'm going to go with Luis Robert, and I think the White Sox are going to win. I think Luis Robert's going to hit a home run today, so you should go to DraftKings and bet that right now. He's going to hit a home run off of Kyle Hendricks today.
I got it at plus 450. I already bet it.
See, you already bet it.
And if that happens, he will be our king of the game. And Herb will also be our king of the game with that call. So there you go. That's Herb Lawrence. Follow him on X at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on X at Sean_W_Anderson. Still not sure what we're going to get for dinner, so hit us up on Twitter if you have any thoughts. Thank you, Stephen Nicholas, for producing the show. Go White Sox.